All right, day 3 of framing. Almost got all the walls done. I just gotta set that one up, do a little bit more framing, I guess you call it, on it, put the door on it. But they got all that up. They got the beam up today. Actually took them some time. I think they might have messed up a little bit on the dimensions at the top. Had to rework it a little bit to get it to fit, but basically they just cut the tops out of it and set the beam down in it. And before I was looking at it thinking, how are they gonna get that in there? Plus the hole just looked a little too small, and it makes sense now. I told them to try to line it up with the ceiling pretty good, so that's what they did. And looks good. Get that back wall back in there done. I've been working today on a couple things. Went out and looked at the siding, got some electrical components, but been working on this gutter system a little bit, or this drain line. So I got that all installed for this one. There's gonna be 2 more coming from over here to drain the patio and everything, but I figured I might as well go ahead and get this one out of the way. It's an easy one and just needs done. The other ones I can't really mess with until right before they pour concrete. But got that one put in. Nothing major, just a half-hour job really. But then I went through and finished drilling out all these holes for the rebar going into the house and the concrete for the new patio to sit on, or to kind of connect into and lock it in with this patio and the house. On this side, I had to drill them into the veneer block. I don't know how I feel about that, but you know, it's only 3 inches thick and really not made for structural support, but that just happens to be where the concrete's gonna line up. So I couldn't drill it into the block. The block's just a couple inches below it. You know, it's actually a 12-inch block, but would have been much stronger, but I think it'll be fine. I tried putting a lot of them down through here to help the situation, and it shouldn't be a tremendous amount of force on it. It really just, the patio will sit on it. I just don't want it to sink in here. You know, all it would take is an inch of settling. All of a sudden the water's flowing towards the house instead of back towards the drain. So I just feel like it's really important to keep this side sitting up high where it's where it needs to be. So anyway, got all those drilled out, and some of them are longer than others. It's just I was trying to have enough to get back into the mesh, make sure that it's good and locked in with the wire mesh that goes underneath or inside the concrete. That's about it. I'd say they'll get the last wall in there and probably start setting the trusses on tomorrow. All right, another day of framing done. I say that like I'm the one doing it, but it's really them doing all the work. But just trying to keep up the date on what's all going on and how far they've made it. It's kind of cool to see it all coming together. And one thing I realized yesterday is, you know, they had this wall laying on the ground, this wall here, and I kept looking at the opening and thinking, man, that seems like it's not as tall as it ought to be. I don't know. I guess I know what I guess they got it figured out. Maybe it's just an optical illusion where it's laying on the ground. And this morning I was thinking I might as well go out there and just measure that. And sure enough, I measured it. It was only 8 feet tall, basically to the header, that piece up there. And so when they got here this morning, I said, guys, there's a slight issue. It's not tall enough. And they said, yeah, we thought about that on the way home yesterday. And so they spent some time redoing all that this morning, but no major deal, just a little oops on their part, but it sounds like they would have caught it anyway. The beam all in there. Basically, they spent a lot of time getting that wall up, tying some things together around the top and putting up all this OSB. It's not quite done yet. That's about it. It's looking good. Pretty much what I had in mind. Well, I've lost track of what day it is in terms of what day how many days I've been working on certain things. This is probably the 5th or 6th day of framing and roofing, and they got the most of the roof on today, the sheet metal, I should say. And I really can't remember the last time I took a video where it was at, but I threw these lights on the wall for now just to give us some light in here. Now we got a roof over it, but of course those will eventually go on the ceiling. I ordered 40 of them so far. We'll see how far that goes. I'll get up a view you can see from here, but it's pretty tall on this side. And it's a little bit awkward having an 8-foot door, and it's probably 16 feet to that top peak, but just is what it is. You know, I thought about talking to him, or I did talk to him about having the roof lower on this shop area because I really don't need it to be 12 feet tall at all. And just making it look a little nicer, maybe look a little bit different than this, but he said that, and it hit me too, he said that the issue is that nothing's going to line up here. It's going to cause an issue when they get to that point. I mean, there's probably some way to do it, but he ended up having a weird connection to the main part of the garage here, and so I just said, just make it the same height then, don't fool with all that. And yeah, it's a garage, it don't really matter that much what it looks like, and it doesn't look that bad. It just, if this would have been like a 10-foot tall door, it would have looked more proportional like the front does. But yeah, I wasn't gonna have a gigantic door in here just to make it look a little nicer. And most of the time I'm barely even gonna use this garage door. So, but let's see, tomorrow they're gonna finish the roof, start bringing in all the gravel. We're thinking about 100 tons, which is like 5 dump trucks coming in here tomorrow to fill all this in. And then Monday they'll kind of wrap some things up, get the skid steer out of here, and then it's just waiting on concrete. They're struggling to find concrete again, and it's probably gonna be a couple more weeks before they can even get some, and then we'll just have to check the weather. You know, we don't want to be you know, trying to pour it in 10 degrees. So, you know, there's a chance they can't line up the weather and the concrete until who knows when. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if it was March or something, or April. So, but and the good news is once they get the floor in here, it'll be crusher run, fairly solid. I can start doing my thing with the wiring. The biggest problem is going to be I won't be able to really roll the scaffolding around on it very well, although it probably roll with nobody on it. Maybe on, you know, if it get that crusher run kind of leveled out decently, it might be okay. But anyway, they just have to see what we can do there. We can also keep working on the siding on the outside. So I'm just glad they got to this point before we hit a major issue with the concrete. I mentioned that in another video that I really was glad to get this back wall poured, because otherwise we'd be sitting here just waiting for that, and none of this would be here yet. So that's about it. I just thought I'd do another little quick update since they made a decent progress since the last time I took one. Well, that's what $850 gets you in gravel at the moment. That was one load of 4 today. They brought 3 loads, 20 tons a piece of this river gravel, poured in here and spread around, and that back there is the crusher run they're going to put on top. I think that'll probably do it. You know, we didn't really know how much it was going to take. It was hard to calculate. It's just such a weird dimension in here, and the foreman was thinking it could take up to 700 or 170 tons, and it's looking like we're going to do with 80. So he was off. I thought it was too high from what I was calculating, and I was surely hoping to goodness not, because that was going to be like $7,000-8,000 in just gravel to fill this floor in. It's probably going to be closer to 4,000 the way it's looking. But they got all this filled in pretty good. Actually, I've been back here to see what all they got done on the backside. I didn't know if they got any more soffit done. Doesn't look like they got much of that. It was snowing on them today, so they couldn't finish the roof up. Not a lot of snow, but enough to make it so it was not safe conditions. But they got that drain pipe in there. Monday they're going to come back, finish spreading this gravel around, finish up the roof. I think they're going to have to work Tuesday again too. I think they thought they'd be done by Monday. It's Friday today, but yeah, I think they'll be basically done next week until they can get concrete from what it's looking like. Go ahead and get rid of the skid steer and be ready to roll as soon as they get some concrete.